These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Mountain Goat. Mountain Goat says, how long will us investors in the IQD have to wait before Iraq is allowed to liberate its own currency? Why do I say now is the time? We know they're completely out of Chapter 7 sanctions since December 2022, and so why not treat them as such? We know they want Iraq funds, nearly USD 115 billion plus, released from the New York banks and put in their custody to do what they want with it. We know they have plans for yet more sovereign funds to invest their reserves. We know they're making agreements now for currency swaps and will no longer be using any US dollars in Iraq as of January 1st, 2024. We know since January they have undertaken a massive de-dollarization program and told it should have taken 6 years, but they decided to do it in year 1, 2023. Why such a hurry? We know the value of the IQD right now, without any further economic development, does exceed even pre-91 era at $3.22, but still at 1/6 of a penny. We know Iraq now pumps 2/3 more oil than in pre-1991 era. We know Iraq has announced 132 plus tons of gold reserves. We know they're pushing this year alone more than any other year since 2005 for the passing of oil and gas law. Why? We know for a fact that it's the U.S. through the Treasury Department direction that will not give sign-off to allow reinstatement. Why? Finally, we know the CBI has told us that January is the most opportune time to reinstate for accounting purposes since it begins their new fiscal year. Just be patient. The reinstatement is coming, and I firmly believe with what we are now 99% sure is going to be January 2024 event. Frank 26, Iraq Boots on the Ground report, Firefly. For the first time, we're seeing a video. It's new. It's 10 minutes long. It's being shown to us every day now this week. They say they are dedicated to the Iraqi citizens to keep us updated on the changes by the banks on our new monetary system reform. It will be every day updating us on new financial news. Frank says they told them now every day for 10 minutes during the financial report of Iraq Channel 1. We're going to start to talk to you more about the monetary reform. These are the things we told you they were going to do. Pretty cool. Nader from the Mideast, the CBI website. It's been 3 days on and off. I don't know if they've been hacked. I don't know if they're doing updates. I don't know what they're doing, but it's been done yesterday. I have a lot of errors today. It's blank. Militiaman article quote, many countries in the region and the world have expressed a great desire to participate in this project, Iraq Development Road Project, especially since it will be the most appropriate, shortest, least expensive way to transport goods between the continents of Asia and Europe. It's going to be a major hub of the globe, and you're thinking Iraq can't ever revalue their currency. I think that is just flat out silly. To think that it's not ever going to happen, the news speaks for itself. All right, Pimpy says every decision they make when it comes to Iraqi dinar absolutely positively affects the economy. Before they can make a decision to either devalue the currency or increase the value of the currency, they have to sit back and figure out how it affects the economy. Iraq is mostly an import country. They rely too much on other countries providing goods for them. An increase in Iraqi dinar would make those goods cheaper. They're still trying to rebuild, so an increase in the value of the exchange rate would help them to go a long way. It would give them more purchasing power, and imports would be a lot cheaper. Mark Zavia PDK says, I can tell you so far this morning, none of my redemption center contacts have been called in yet, but they're on call today. They're on a short leash, which is very unusual for a holiday weekend. Caprioni says, if and when the day comes when Iraq begins to diversify their economy, they can begin to withdraw some of the larger notes from the circulation and begin to raise the value to counter inflation gradually. This process then could begin to introduce smaller notes to replace the larger notes as the currency appreciates. But again, this would have to happen gradually over time, so Iraq could reduce the money supply, which currently is over 90 trillion. Frank 26, when is it going to end? When are we going to have our blessing? When is the new exchange rate going to come out? Frank says the chances of that happening are like 99% improved compared to any date in the past. RayRan98 via Baby's Mom. Turkey Day update. Some currency regulator types are reporting to work later tonight, working the holiday night shift, looking for something to happen before the sun rises, but time will tell. Militia Man says, what's the question? What's the exchange rate crisis? Militia Man says it's been 13.10 since the early part of 2023. They devalued to 14.60 when they adjusted by 10%. What's not good about that? What did it prove? That the adjustment the World Bank was talking about of 10.3% is actually a positive sign, because what did it do? It stayed off inflation. There's some positive aspects to these things. Revaluations happen. They need to be tested. All right, and Pimpy lastly says the good news keeps flowing in. That's what we want to hear, and that's what we want to see.